Since the 2020 Shelby GT500 North American Track Tour took place in late October of 2020, there were a number of COVID-19 protocols to endure before the fun could begin. There were waivers signed, temperatures checked, masks required, and plenty of hand sanitizer before we were put into groups and set loose on Charlotte Motor Speedway. While it was certainly tempting to jump right into one of these Shelby GT500s and rip down the racetrack, we did have to follow the track tour program, which began with an introduction.
The Ford family, everybody who works on these cars, I cannot tell you how excited we are to have you here. We've been doing the track tour since 2015 with the Shelby GT350. Any of you guys join us for the 350 version? On there? Yep, there's a couple of us who are out there. So what we do here is we take the Shelby GT500 and we have you with the Ford Performance Racing School instructors. And today we actually happen to be at the track where the Ford Performance Racing School calls its home. So every Shelby GT350 owner, GT500 owner, Raptor, Edge ST, Explorer ST, Focus ST, Focus RS, Fiesta ST, Boss 302 back in the day. With the purchase of the vehicle, you get an opportunity to come here free of charge. You pay for your flight down and your hotel, and we take you through with the professional instructors. So for what we wanted to do today was give you a little taste of that. And we will be taking you through the drag strip, we will be taking you through the road course, and then some of you, I know I'm sorry to say this, are going to have to listen to me kind of talk about some of the products and how we got here. And you know, even though I'm marketing, I have engineering support here, so they have a little shock collar on me that if I go a little bit astray, Ferris hits the button, and I kind of shake around. But I want to welcome you guys all here and tell you how happy we are. We truly enjoy this. We have some very special guests here today with you, and they will be in your groups. We have an up-and-coming country music star who is a huge Shelby fan. In fact, in his video for his new song that was released, he drove a Shelby GT500 throughout the video. And then on the cover of his album, and for those of you who are too young to remember, albums were the things we used to play on the turntable. On the cover of his album is the 2020 Shelby GT500. So I'd like to introduce Travis. Good luck. Some of you welcome down in the group here as well. We also have with us some of the current and future stars of Ford Performance on track. Now, to make sure I get all the accolades correctly, I've been given notes to talk about it. So first, Haley Deegan. Haley, would you raise your hand and wave over there? So Haley was the Rookie of the Year in the ARCA series, is going to be driving in the, I almost called it Craftsman Truck Series because I'm old school, but in the Truck Series next year. She ran her first truck race at Kansas and finished 16th. She finished third place in the standings this year, and we're so excited. She also is a GT350 owner and driver, and as she told me today, she takes it out to a shop that her dad works with and has actually tuned it up a little bit. Now, why you'd want to tune up 526 horsepower in a flat plane crank, if you've ever watched how fast she drives, you'll understand. She's out there tweaking it, so she's an enthusiast like us. The other person is Chase Briscoe. Where's Chase? Chase Briscoe. Now, for those of you who are fans of what I used to call the Busch Series and now the Xfinity Series, he has won 9 races this year. He is in the Final 4. He is sponsored in part and is a graduate of the Ford Performance Racing School in Charlotte. So he won, when was it, Saturday? Saturday, he won, and then this past week in here in the monsoon, he was leading going into the final, 3 laps? Was it green checkered yet? It was And going in, and on these Scott folks, you know, most of the followed NASCAR, seeing a windshield wiper on a stock car was mind-numbing to me, and I've been watching it for a long time. And then on rain tires, he was in the front up until the final 3 laps at his home track. He's here today to be with you as well. So Chase, welcome, thank you. There's a couple other people I'd like to introduce. Ali, where are you hiding? So this is Ali Jamul from Ford. He is the director of all the cool stuff at Ford Motor Company, right? So on the Ford Performance vehicles, on the Mustang, on the Edge, he is the director of all of the engineering that goes into these vehicles. So as you're screaming at the end of this straightaway today, before you hit your brakes or in your hot lap with your instructor, and you're like coming down the back stretch over here, and you're like, when are they gonna hit the brakes? When are they gonna hit the brakes? When are they gonna hit the brakes? And you look over and you go from 140 down to 30 to make a 180-degree turn. He's responsible for the engineering that got you to be able to do that. So Ali, thank you for being here. And I know that's the rule on, so somebody give me the shot collar and move on. There's a couple other folks that I'd like to introduce as well. We wouldn't be here without Shelby, right? Carol and his merry band of hot rodders back in the 60s. And you'll hear that speech when you're here with me. But we have Aaron Shelby, who is Carol's grandson. So he is a member of the board of directors of the Carol Shelby Foundation and works very closely with Shelby American and Ford for those wonderful products that you see, that when it leaves Flat Rock Assembly Plant and it gets on the train and it goes to Las Vegas to be modified, he's behind that as well. We also have the president of Shelby American, Gary Patterson. President Gary Patterson. He is also one of Carol's test drivers. I'd like to introduce one other person, and sorry, Leslie, this wasn't on the list. Lee, where are you hiding? Where's Lee?
Right back here.
Where is he? There's Lee. So, back in the day, you know, not only was Carol out there working, but there was a team working with the Ford Performance Group by the name of Holman Moody. Now, one of the cool stories is the first races Mustang ever won was not in the continental United States. It was in France, and we used to call it the Tour de France. Now, those are pedal bikes, 10 speeds, or whatever the speeds they have on those bikes now. But back in the day, it was car racing. And Holman Moody prepared Mustangs that finished what, Lee? 1, 2, 3? First, second, and third in the first race that Mustang ever did. And so I wanted to recognize Lee Holman from Holman and Moody. Okay, did I get everybody? I got everybody. So again, welcome. First, I want to let you know that not only are you going to be safe on the track, we are going to be safe from COVID here. And I want to go through this in very specific terms. To be able to do these events, not only do we have to be safe on the track, but from Ford Motor Company's perspective, we want to make sure you are safe here given the global pandemic. So you're going to see some things here. One, we'll all wear masks. That's part of CMS's policy, and we want to make sure that we contain, our distance, maintain our social distance. We also go beyond that. What you will see in the cars as they are coming up is we use, and I don't have the sheet here in front of me anymore, Transform that will be sprayed in the cars, set for 8 to 10 minutes before the next human gets into it. Now that kills 100%, including H1, all the H1N1 items. Oh, there. Jack's got the little gun. You'll see them spraying that in there in Eric. So before you get in there, into the car, we will be cleaning that car just like we do at our service departments at our dealerships. You will be in a clean car, number one. Number two, they will be, and you'll see Eric today spraying all the way back here so you can touch all the components in there. We will continually spray the components in this area over here that with the same stuff that kills like literally 99.9% CDC approved so you can feel comfortable. And finally, the helmets. You will see back over here on your left, the two little, looks like Pepsi or Coke or whatever you want to call it, little cooler cases there. That is a company called Sanitize. It uses UVB light to actually clean 99.999% of all of the things that can help or that would hurt us as far as COVID goes. So each of the helmets that you will be putting on will have gone through that process prior to you putting them on. Now, when you're on the drag strip and you're with the instructors, they will have helmets. It's a challenge by choice. If you don't want to sit in the car, it will be cleaned beforehand, but there will be an instructor in there with you. The helmets work just like a mask. They will have the mask on there as well. But if you don't want to get in, we understand. The same goes with the hot laps. We will have an instructor in there who's fully helmeted, windows open, and then we will be cleaning down the passenger area for you when you go and get your hot laps. But when you get in your cars to drive yourself, they will be fully clean. It's important to us that we maintain a healthy environment here so that we can continue to deliver on these type of experiences for both media, VIP, the regional people who are here today. Did I cover everything mostly? Am I pretty good? Am I right on time? I'm over. So what I'd like to do right now is introduce you. The Ford Performance Racing School has its house here. We do our GT350, GT500, ST, Explorer Edge ST classes here, or out of North Carolina. And then Fiesta and Focus ST, I think we're done with the rest of them. But those are all run out of here. And these professional men and women are the ones who are going to be working with you today in the track. And what I'd like to do is introduce Ty Hamill from the Racing School, who will lead you through the program. So welcome, thank you, and be safe, and we look forward to seeing you at the end of the road course with a big smile on your face.
Thank you, Jim. You guys hear me okay? Alright, cool. Like Jim mentioned, I am Ty Hamill, one of the instructors here at the Ford Performance Racing School. We're all dressed in these black shirts. There's 13 of us here today, so feel free to approach us and ask us questions about the performance of the different vehicles, or well, 500 or the 350 for that matter as well. They have a lot of experience with them on the track and the performance arenas, so they're a lot of fun. They like to have fun, and so ask me any questions you want. And we all want everybody to have fun, but the number one concern is safety always, okay? Like Jim kind of hit on it too, but our end of thing is more the performance side of the safety. So at each event, you're going to be, when you're driving, you're going to have a helmet, and you're going to have a Hans device. You guys know what a Hans device is? What is it?
Keep your neck in place.
Exactly. Yeah, keep your neck in line if you have an accident, unfortunately, but we're not going to have one of those, right? No, absolutely not. Okay, so we've got a couple different driving events for you. We have some time on the track, the road course, and the way that's going to work, it's going to be a lead follow. And what I mean by lead follow is basically, does anybody know what lead follow is? What is it?
You have the instructor up front, 2 or 3 car lengths, when you car, and just follow your line.
Exactly, yeah. So the lead car in each little pod will be an instructor, okay? And then there'll be either 2 or 3 guest or student cars behind that instructor. The instructor's going to go out and drive the line, and to kind of help you with the line, we have some cones placed out there. We have turning cones, which kind of what they sound like. That's where you're going to initiate the turn. We have an apex cone, and that's the center, the most inside portion of the corner. So if your head come up to a right-hand turn, your turning cone will be on the left, and your apex cone is going to be on the right-hand edge. Okay? The instructor is going to talk you through this. The idea is, in a corner, we try to make the widest radius possible. Okay? And the reason why that's a good thing is you have to turn the steering wheel less. And why that's a good thing is the less you turn the steering wheel, the faster you can go. All right? It is the racing line, but it's also the safest line around, because the more you turn the steering wheel, the more chance you have for danger, let's say. While you're out there, the key to driving quickly on the road course is vision. Okay? And that leads to the hand in hand with the second part is you got to be smooth with all your inputs, your steering input, your braking input, your throttle inputs. You want to be smooth. You want to roll on the throttle, roll on the brake, initiate turns smoothly. And again, what's critical, your vision, you got to look far enough ahead to anticipate that. Because if your eyes are too low, you just drive down the turning cone, you crank a bunch of wheel, the car's not going to want to respond very well. Okay? So the instructors also are going to have radios in the car. They're going to be able to talk to you. It's only one-way communication though, so you can't talk back. And after everybody in that pod is driven, then we're going to give you, if you're interested, Jim kind of hit on it, is challenge by choice, something we like to say, which is basically, instructors like to encourage people and get them going up to speed, but if you're not comfortable, just go at your pace, okay? We're not trying to get anybody out of their comfort zone, so challenge by choice. And same thing for the instructor ride-alongs or the demo laps. If that's something you don't think you're going to be interested in, don't do it. Or just tell the instructor when you get in that, hey, could you kind of start on the slow side, ramp things up gently? That'll work too. All right? You'll get 2 laps with the instructor. The other drive event is the drag strip, which Jim kind of mentioned already. At the drag strip, they're going to go through all the procedures. You're going to experience launch control. I'll warn you, these temperatures, good for making horsepower, but it's kind of hard for the tires to hook up sometimes. Excuse me. So one thing you got to be aware of is during gear changes, if the back end moves a little bit, don't do that with steering wheel. Keep it straight, because that's when the drag strip can get exciting when this starts happening. So keep the wheel straight, even if the back end moves around a little bit. All right.
As part of the Red Group, our first stop was the drag strip, where Ford Performance Racing School instructors gave a primer of how to pilot the Shelby GT500 down the quarter mile.
To the staging lights. So if you look at the top of the tree, once you get up there, there's boxes on either side of the start line, right there. We'll walk you up. When you get to pre-stage, the top light is going to light up. It's blue LEDs. That half moon is going to light up. About 6 inches past that, you're going to see the bottom half moon and a white LED strip across the middle. So that means you are staged. Like I said, we're going to be walking you up, inching you forward to make sure you hear all that. So, you know, and you're getting, like you said, we're going to have an instructor in the car with you. They're going to walk you through it as well, so don't be nervous. Once you get up there, the cars are already going to be in drag mode with launch control activated. So it's basically a 2-step process. Once you get up there and staged, you get your left foot on the brake and your right foot to the floor. Launch control is available anywhere from 12 to 3,200 RPM. What do we have them set at today? And it's gonna differ based on track conditions, weather, all that kind of stuff.
Today it'll start out pretty low, like about 1,400 RPMs is probably about where we're going to start.
Okay. So once we do that, you're gonna see the lights come down. I think we're running traditional tree here, not Pro Tree.
Sportsman 500.
Okay.
Yep.
So the 3 yellows are going to come down in sequential order. On the 3rd yellow, we're going to lift our left foot off the brake and keep that right foot on the accelerator pinned to the floor, and you're going to start moving down the track. So after we've launched and we get going down the track, I'm going to let Spencer run through some of the stuff we want you guys to be cognizant of as you're going down the track. So.
Okay. All right, so first of all, anybody completely unfamiliar with launch control? You know what I'm talking about when I say honesty? Okay, fair, we got good honesty here. So launch control, basically, you got 760 horsepower here to deal with, right? That's a lot of horsepower to keep from spinning tires. Launch control is a system that Ford has built in that enables those cars to launch really hard using as many of those 760 horsepower as we can, but without spinning the tires like crazy. Okay, it's something that feels a little odd and unnatural to do it this way, but like Matt was saying, it's a 2-foot operation. It's already all set up for you, but when you get up to the line and you're ready to go, you put your left foot on the brake and your right foot is fully matted to the floor, and the car just sits there and burbles for a minute until you're ready to go, and you just take that left foot off the brake. When you take that left foot off the brake, the system manages traction for you so that you launch and you go down the track as quickly as possible without spinning your tires. Okay? Now, I will tell you, since there's so much horsepower and the tires are right there at the verge of breaking loose on traction, there are going to be a few spots, especially when the car shifts gears, where it's maybe going to wiggle a little bit. That's normal. That's not a problem. Okay? What you need to do as the driver, you keep your focus all the way at the end of the track. Keep that steering wheel nice and straight. Even if the car wiggles just a little bit under all that power, that's okay. We don't want you putting on the brakes. We don't want you lifting off the accelerator. Just keep that foot planted. Drive nice and straight down the track. The system will take care of everything. Okay? All right, very good. We're going to be running no AC with the windows up. We run no AC because we don't want condensation dripping onto the track, and windows up is a track rule. Okay? Like I said, we're going to have instructors with you that are going to kind of fill in the gaps of anything we forgot to talk about here this morning. And what we'd like to do, I've got two instructors kind of ready to go, Andy and Dan. If you guys don't mind jumping in, they're going to jump in these two cars. And if you would, we're going to kind of move a little closer to the track, and we're not going to stay right behind the two cars. But what I want you to do is I want you to watch those lights, how they're pre-staging and staging, and once both cars are staged and ready to go, you're going to listen to the engines and that launch control. The cars will sit there and burp.
During the event, there were plenty of safety protocols in place as well, including sanitizing all the cars and equipment, even the helmets, which were treated to this high-tech UV sanitizing station.
To sanitize and create a unlivable environment for many airborne diseases as well as coronavirus.
And how long does it take to sanitize the helmet?
About roughly 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Approximately 7 minutes, yeah.
After 2 brisk blasts down the quarter mile, it was time for hot laps on the road course, which includes a section of the banked racetrack used by NASCAR.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna plug your helmet in, that way you'll be able to hear the instructor.
Okay.
All right, you're good with that. Seatbelt. All right, foot on the brake. Give me a start on that button right there. Toggle switch all the way to the right that says mode.
Okay.
Flip that up 3 times. One more. There you go. You're in track mode, ready to go. Have a good time.
2020 Shelby GT500 North American Track Tour was a blast. If you want to learn more about what it was like, pick up a copy of Mustang Hub magazine at mustanghubmag.com.